Welcome back to A Potent Dose of Three. My name is Kathy.
I'm Jazz.
And it's your girl, Linda, and we're here to bring you your weekly dose.
So, what was your social life like during undergrad?
Undergrad.
For me, there was no social life because honestly, I feel like I messed up. After I graduated high school, I went straight to like a SF state, and I moved out from my parents' house when I was like 21, I want to say. So I was just grinding because I was just trying to pay bills, pay rent, and do all that. And at one point, I was working 3 jobs. And then I was also taking like 18 units. I was doing way too much because I was trying to graduate as fast as I could. And also like commuting, like paying bar, like I was just trying to pay the bills so that I didn't have no social life. I was just focused.
It's hard.
You sound like you were adulting. Like you were on your adult grind. I don't think I can say the same about myself. Because once I graduated high school, I was like, peace out, Bay Area. I'm moving to LA, live my best life. I had dreams of being famous.
She really did, though, because I was on Instagram like, dang, she's having hella fun.
Living my best life.
Same. I was like, damn, she's at parties. I'm like, I'm here in this stupid library. It's 1 a.m. And I'm like, I wish I did that.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like my undergrad years was like the most memorable. And I feel like that's when I grew up the most. Like, yes, I was partying, but me moving away from home and not staying home, you know, moving to SoCal, living in the dorms, that was like an experience within itself because I lived with 7 other girls. So it was like it was like the bad girls club. So so on the weekends, I remember partying on the weekends I partied, on a Tuesday I partied. We used to have like dorm parties all the time. And the RAs used to come and basically try to shut down the party. And they were like, the RA is coming, everyone hide, they're coming to hide the alcohol.
She was living it up.
Mm-hmm. No, really, she really was. I like would look and I'm like, dang, I'm gonna go visit her, and I'd go visit her.
You did.
You know what? I remember when I went to go visit you, and we got on the mechanical bull, and I got off. I had bruises everywhere. I looked like I got beat up.
It did, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And for me, I was like in the middle, more on your end, Kathy. I was working a lot. I was waitressing, so I was making fast money. I was commuting back and forth like about 3 hours a day or more, waking up like at 4 or 5 in the morning and then getting back home like around midnight. So I didn't sleep too much. But when I did have time, I did try to party.
Her grandma partying.
No,
Did you party?
I didn't party that often, but I do remember getting home at 10 a.m. One time, and my class was like at 11, and so I
That when you said that literally gave me a flashback in high school. Even I probably shouldn't be.
No, I remember.
In high school, have you made like not like a bet, but we wanted to get like chocolate wasted when that whole movie came out. I was like, oh, let's get chocolate wasted.
Grown-ups?
This was in grown-ups. Mm-hmm. This was in high school. Jasmine and I decided to get chocolate wasted, and just long story short, Jasmine's ass was in a dog.
I did.
In a doggy bed.
Mm-hmm. I woke up in a dog bed.
I remember talking to this one guy and I threw up.
She threw up, and like, you know, I felt guilty that I let my friend get to that point. And so I was rubbing her back, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible friend. I'm rubbing her back. She's like, get off of me.
Yeah. That's horrible. If you know Linda, she does not like physical touch. She'll punch you.
Oh, yeah, because she was making me throw up more. Like, people think, like, touching me and, like, rubbing my back, like, would help. But that makes me more sick.
I'm sorry you're a weirdo.
Pretty much, you know. Maybe I wasn't held as a baby or something. I don't know.
Gosh.
Let me not say that. Anyways, let's get back on track. But I do feel like maybe in the future we can, you know, talk about this more. Because it's funny. It's a long story. But anyway, speaking of, you know, undergrad experiences, you know, looking back now, do you guys wish you would have done something differently?
Definitely, yes.
Enjoy your life a little bit more?
I wish I would enjoy my life. I wish I would have gone out. I wish I wouldn't probably go to like SF State right away after graduating high school. So yeah, I think I would have changed it up.
I also like, obviously I like to try to live my life with no regrets, but if I really, really had to like think about it and, you know, change something, you know me, I've always been like hardcore when it comes to studying. And I'm like, nope, you have this. You can't do this. You have to study. You have to stay home. And I think like I always put school before everything. And so I feel like I didn't have a really good like work-life balance, and I'm getting better at that.
Speaking of that, let's begin this episode talking about, hindsight. What I know now, I wish I would have known back then. So let's get into it. Let's make it more educational for the people who, here to listen about some education.
Let's go.
Let's go. So as you guys know, I went to a 4-year university, to get my degree. But, looking back, I wish I would have just attended a JC because I already knew I always wanted to do nursing. But I went to a 4-year university because I was like, it's a university. And I was taught that go to a university after high school, just go to college, just go straight to college. Like JC wasn't even like brought up to me. So in my mind, like I never thought of going to a JC first, maybe getting my associates in nursing and then doing like a bridge program and then going to a 4-year university to get my bachelor's degree in nursing. So now, like right now, I have like $50,000 on a degree, public health degree that I did not, like I haven't even used because I wasted so much time and money majoring in something that I knew I wasn't going to use. So looking back in hindsight, even like for listeners who don't have a degree at all and just trying to figure out, where to start, I would suggest personally going to a JC, completing your, general education, getting your associate and just like doing a bridge program because you won't waste any money because JCs are free.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I know like there's just a lot of pressure from parents and from everyone, like teachers, even like when we're applying and stuff, they're like, this is what you need to do. And you don't really get that chance to really think for yourself. You're kind of following like what is the status quo. And you don't think and you don't know what you're doing. And it's a big commitment financially, emotionally, physically. So yeah, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, what your next step is, I do highly recommend get signed up for a community college, take classes here and there, talk to your counselor, explore what you like, what you don't like.
Also, I don't let people peer pressure that because sometimes JCs are like looked down upon and they're not bad.
Yeah,
like you could also take, because I know sometimes people say, well, yeah, JCs, you're gonna be there forever and blah blah blah, because you do have to take your general education classes. But just so you know, you could take these general education classes when you're in high school. You could take it and get it out of the way, and then you could just start your career or your major classes when you get accepted to just those JC colleges.
Actually, you said something that I really resonated with. So I personally, started at community college and then transferred to university. But yes, I think when you do JC, in my opinion, I felt like you are stuck there a little longer, because when you're transferring, like every school is different on the requirements that they need to be able to accept you. So every school will want something different. So you may be taking classes that only one school wants and that the other school doesn't require. So that's something that will take some time if you do choose that route.
Yeah, that's why I think it's also important to like educate yourself on like where you're trying to go and which schools have like a bridge program. Because I know like with the Peralta system, meaning like, Merritt, Laney, Alameda Community College. Berkeley, they have a bridge program, meaning they already have a partnership with East Bay. So like students who are majoring, getting their associates in nursing, they can just kind of transfer over to East Bay. So you're not like losing a lot of time trying to figure out like, oh, where to go, blah, blah, because that JC already, their requirements is already set up for you to successfully like bridge into a university. And then same with Kathy, what she was saying, like to save a little bit more time while like, I guess, before attending a JC, get all your general eds out the way, your general education out the way in high school. That's one thing I feel like they did not teach us. We went to we went to a private school, and that was not brought up to us
Yeah, it wasn't brought up to us, and I feel like we should, because I think everybody starts talking about college when you're like a senior. And then I feel like that's where the system is messed up, because honestly, I didn't know nothing about GPA until I was like almost about to finish my sophomore year. And everybody was like, "Yeah, I'm a 4.0 student." And I'm like, "Hold up." Because okay, keep in mind I come from another country, and the whole education system over there is way different than over here. So I was like, what is this GPA thing? Like, all I knew is that I had to like get good grades to make my parents' money's worth. That's all I knew. But I didn't know there was a GPA. I didn't know like you have to go through this whole process of applying and getting letters of rec and doing all these things, because in Colombia it's way different. And I didn't even know, because in Colombia, like high school will go up to like 11th grade. And then here's into 12th grade. Now it's 12th grade because time changes, but back then it wasn't. So when I find out about there was like the importance of the GPA and how like you really need to have like a good GPA and how you need to take the SAT and the ACT and all these tests, then it was because people were talking about it, but it wasn't because the school brought it up. So I think that's something, even if you're in high school and you're like what's it called, a freshman or a sophomore, is start working on your GPA, because the grades that you also get as a junior, those are your most important grades that people don't tell you until you're like a senior. You're like, oh damn, like it's too late now, because now I'm applying to the schools and now they're not going to accept me because my GPA is low, or you know, there's like different situations. So I also like we just started talking about like applying to school until we were like seniors. So if you wouldn't know this, and if you're hearing us and you're in high school, start doing your research now. The sooner that you do it, the better for you.
Yes. And also, like, even if you're not in high school, but you have like a young cousin or a daughter or a kid or someone, a family member who's trying to figure it out, let your little cousins know. 9th grade, freshman year, start working on your undergrad stuff now, like while you're in high school. Keep your GPA up, like Kathy said, and start taking your general education in high school, honestly, because that's the best decision.
Also to try to get to like AP classes, because that's something that colleges look into. Like if you took an AP class and then if you took the test, how did you do on that test, and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, just if you have a sister, if you're in high school, like just tell them, because I feel like that's something that I wish I would have known.
Yes. So Jasmine, I know. So how do you, because you hear us saying this, because we're speaking as someone who did not, you know, we didn't start off as a JC. Do you feel like that was the best decision for yourself? Because you did both, so you can literally comment on both. Like,
actually, I do. Because I think when I started college, we're all really young when you start college, right? So having not had a really good previous like education system, I personally wasn't like prepared for the material. Had I gone straight into a university, I would have done so bad. I wouldn't have been able to kind of build up my stamina when it comes to studying, techniques when it comes to studying, all of that. And I would have felt very bad if I would have just gone straight in, done terrible back to back on all these classes, and have been paying so much for the tuition is expensive.
Very expensive.
So I do think it was really good to dip my feet in classes at community college, and then, learn how to study, learn, how to even like look for tutoring and all, just the little things that comes with being a student before I went to a university.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then to add on what you're saying is like, when I started at a university, I didn't even I basically was doing general ed stuff because, well, everyone does general ed stuff, but I was like taking remedial English, remedial math. Like I could have done that at a JC, got that out of the way, instead of wasting, I want to say like a year at a university taking stuff I could have taken somewhere else for free.
Yeah, like in my case, I got lucky because when you're a freshman in SF State, you have like priority registration. And I went to the orientation, and the girl that was helping me register for my classes, she said, you know what, register for this course because if you're going to need it for all your bio classes. So register for this course now that you have the opportunity, because if you don't register, you're going to be stuck here for years. And that was the case for many seniors that were just waiting to get that class in order to get the rest of their classes. So I got lucky on that sense. But yeah, I definitely would, because I ended up with English, like remediation, because of course my first language is not English. But yeah, if that girl wouldn't have helped me, I would have been there for like 6 years easily, because everything is so impacted.
Exactly. And they wouldn't mind taking your money. They would have just allowed you to be there. I'm like, yeah, you could be here for 6 years. Just take take an art class, take something.
I will say this, like you said, Kathy, I mean, whether it's university or JC, when you are picking out your classes, things like that happen a lot where you need this course to get this course to get that course. So just make sure that you're really aware of, you know, what classes, what path you're taking, and kind of paying attention to what courses are needed. Go to your counselor and talk about what classes are needed, because if you're not really on top of, I guess like your, what is it called? Your
Career?
course, your curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to be stuck in college for a long time, and you're going to be paying money that you don't need to pay.
Taking classes you don't even supposed to take or don't even need.
Yeah, and also know that after, I don't remember how many years, but after you're 26 or something, financial aid goes down. So if it goes down, that means that it has to come out from your own pocket.
Yeah, loans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. You want to just really go in with a plan. And then also what I like about JC is because I took some like classes in JC when I was trying to take my prereqs for nursing, was the fact that the counselors, they were so approachable. And honestly, in SF State, or like, yeah, in my case, it was FS State, it was kind of intimidating because it was a huge school for me, because I came from like a small school to like a big school for me.
Yeah. Our whole high school, there was only 200 people. The whole high school. 42 people, 45, 42 in our senior class. It's very small.
Yeah, so it was like from 45 to like 100 people. Like in one of my classes, it was like 200 people in the class. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was intimidated. Mm-hmm. So I was even intimidated to like, now I have to meet with a counselor. And now I have to talk. Like I didn't even know what the hell I was doing.
Exactly. That's a good point. And if there's a listener out here who's like feel like they're being pressured by a family member to just basically jump into going to a university and you don't even know like what you want to do with your life, honestly, I would say don't listen to them. Like follow your own dreams, write down the pros and cons of you going to a JC and you going to a university, because at the end of the day, all these people that are saying stuff in your ear, they're not going to be the ones sitting in the classrooms with you. They're not going to be the ones paying your school loans. You're going to be stuck with the school loans yourself and paying it in the future all by yourself. So F them, do you, and keep grinding.
Also, for people that come from another country and come here to the United States, I know for myself, I also went to like a university to make my parents proud. But guess what? Your parents are going to be proud no matter what. Even if you go to a JC, even if you go to a university, as long as they see you make it and as long as they see you accomplish your dreams, like don't just do it for you and do it like they just don't worry about them, like making them feel proud, because they will be proud regardless.
And don't feel bad, because I mean, I went to a JC and I was still able to transfer to university and graduate debt free, no loans. So
that's the key. Graduating debt free, no loans.
It felt nice. Everyone was like, I think I was sitting in a classroom and everyone was like, I don't know how this conversation started, but they were all like, so how much loans do you owe? Or like, how are your loans? How much do you owe? And they were like, I owe 60, I owe 40, I owe. And they're like, and they asked me, how much do you owe? I'm like, I don't own it. I don't owe anything.
Yes. And that's a whole nother conversation in itself. I don't know if we can do it in this episode, a future episode, but don't be like me. Meaning, as an undergrad, they gave me, like the Pell Grants or like the scholarship loans. And then they were like, oh, do you want to take out a loan? My butt. I was like, yeah, I want to take out a loan. When I tell you I was balling as an undergrad, like I bought myself a Mac. My friends and I, we were going on vacation, not realizing like, yes, all this money that I'm getting getting, it's not really free. It's a loan. I got to pay all of this back in the future. So my dumb self, like, don't do it.
With those interest rates, baby.
Those interest rate. Exactly. You don't think about stuff like that.
And they don't tell you about the interest rates because they're like, oh, because you think, oh, I'm going to get a job as soon as I graduate. No, that's not the case, boo-boo. Like for myself, when you graduate for like with a biology, physiology diploma, you can barely find a job because there's not, it's just
That's
like a
another
diploma
thing.
that you need to get to medical school.
And it sucks because nowadays it's like a
The bachelor-
bachelor's is like a high school diploma. Like they're saying like nowadays you have to go get your master's to even make. Yeah.
I'm like, did you know how much it took to just get my bachelor's?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I also end up debt-free like Jasmine, but my GPA suffer and my life suffer because I wasn't really having any social life. I was stressing. I was working. I was just trying to make it. So yeah, I end up debt free, but it wasn't like the best decision for me to like do.
Yeah, because you're stressing over a degree you didn't even use. So you're debt free, but you're literally, stressing, didn't get to enjoy your youth. You're so young. Debt free, but me, I was living my best life. And Jasmine.
Oh, and I was just going to say that's why it's really, really good to really think about before you go to college. Don't listen to everyone else and just go there because they said it.
Yes.
You don't want, like Linda said, they're definitely not going to be paying your loans. They're not going to be paying all this stuff for you. So do it because it's something you want to do for yourself and because you know it's something you want to do.
Exactly. Because I understand why my family members did it because they, I guess, want to brag and like, oh, yeah, she's at a university in LA, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, those braggings, it don't mean nothing when you got to pay all this money.
Hell no. And they're like, oh, go to a UC, go to UC Berkeley, go to UC Davis. Have you seen how much that is? Like,
it sounds nice. It looks nice.
Yeah, but then that packet, those interest rates, everything that you have to pay for, it's not worth it. Well, that's my opinion.
Well, that's why I commuted because I was like, I ain't living here. I ain't paying that much money to have 4 roommates. No, thank you.
Hey, that was actually fun. It was Bad Girls Club. I did it for 2 years. And after that, I'm like, but I got to get my own apartment. You hoes, I cannot.
Girl, I snore like a grown-ass man.
Yeah. So I feel like JC is the way to go if you can. If you're someone who's like me, is like, no, I want to go to a university. Maybe you just got to do what Kathy did and grind and work your butt off so you won't be so you could be debt free.
Or at least go with a plan. Like just before you even go to this school, like just do your research. Like for example, if you're going to graduate in biology, what classes do you need to take the first semester? What classes do you need to take the second semester? Or take your general education and then go to like a state school. So that way you're just ready. You're ready to like take all the classes and get your degree without like struggling.
Mm-hmm.
This is really random, but if you are going to be grinding and stuff, like look for scholarships because they have scholarships for everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, I
everything.
forgot about
So that's my problem. Don't be like me. I'm lazy. I'm a certain kind of lazy. It depends on what it is. Because a lot of the times with these scholarships, you have to write like a personal statement and stuff. I'm looking like, do I really want to do that?
No,
I'll
girl.
just take out a loan.
No, so actually, it's funny that you say that because I was lazy back then too, and I only started looking like when I
For the post-bac?
when I graduated for the post-bac, and I was like, dang, they have a scholarship for I think like if you're disabled, they have a scholarship for
Your hair.
your hair. They
Wait,
have,
your hair?
Yes,
Yes.
like
You
specific
have, like,
colors of
curly
hair.
hair.
Really?
They have
Yes.
scholarships for Latinos,
Black
African American, for everything. They really do. And I never looked into it. And basically, when it was too late because they don't do anything for postbacks, I was like, dang.
Just all loans.
No, I did. I looked when I was in high school and I applied, but some of them I got denied because they're really competitive and they're really hard. Because when I found out about their due dates, it was like the due date was gonna be like in 2 or 3 days, and then I have to find somebody to write to proofread my personal statement and then letters of rec. Like I was going to apply. It was a big scholarship. I don't remember the name of the scholarship at the moment, but it was a big scholarship. I worked my ass off because it was a lot of letters of rec. It was a long personal statement, but the thing that held me back is that I asked the wrong person for the letter of rec, and the day off I had already turned in everything, my transcripts, and everybody had already turned in their letter of rec. It was just that one person that was left to turn in the letter of rec. And I told him, I'm like, are you going to be able to do it? And he said, yeah. I keep like, you know, bugging the person because that was a scholarship that will pay for like my whole like education. And at the end of the day, he didn't come through, and I missed it.
I would have been mad.
I'm sorry.
I would have cussed him out.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So just start doing your research early. That's like.
Also, I've noticed too, like my mom's job and my dad's job, they both have like, I think employers also have scholarships for their children too that you can look into as well.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if you work in a hospital or something, they also pay for your schooling.
See?
There are ways, guys.
Yes. And if you have further questions, just feel free to email us or follow us on IG, and we'll be able to help you. Just email us at apotentdoseof3@gmail.com and follow us in Instagram at apotentdoseof3.
Yes, you can also follow your girl Linda on IG at Linda the FNP. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening to us give you advice, and hopefully making your life a little bit easier, because that's what we're here to do.
And keep grinding.
Keep grinding.
Yep.
Put yourself first. Remember that, because if you don't got you, nobody else do.
That's true.
Bye.
Bye.